What's that?
Oh shit, that's right. One man band over here.
I know. No, I just saw you set up everything and it's stellar.
Thank you.
Impressive for sure.
You got the light behind the plant.
Come on.
Just trying to hide it all. Thanks for being here.
Oh man, thank you for the opportunity. I seen you. When did I last see you? About a month ago.
Oh yeah, at the
little
Rikers thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, we lined it up then. So I'm glad that it's coming to fruition. So
Yeah.
absolutely.
You moved quickly.
Oh yeah, got to.
Yeah.
Got to.
I'll just dive into it. Although I'll go back to my first question. There seems to be part of your MO, like moving quickly, whether it's like jotting down song ideas, video ideas, making this happen. Like
Yeah.
you have a very strong entrepreneurial spirit.
I'm glad you think so.
You don't think so?
For me, it's a sense of normal, like a sense of normalcy. I think a lot of it comes from like, if you want to do something and you get the idea to do it, it's best to do it then and there because it's fresh, you know. And if you get an idea or you want to do something and you kind of sit on it for a while, sometimes it loses the potency of it or like the passion or the inspiration.
Yeah.
So when I seen you and I said, let's do it, let's line it up, and we just put it in motion, now we're here, and it's like we can build on that, and you know, it's just kind of building a rapport. And I think that that's just kind of how I've always worked. Even when I'm in the studio, like I just kind of work fast. But I think it's a skill in itself too. I think I've worked on being able to just kind of throw things at a wall, and you get things fleshed out a lot quicker that way as well too. So you can kind of concise and confine whatever you're doing. Like if I'm writing a song and I write it fast because the ideas are just flowing really, really quick, and I get a good template or blueprint, then I can refine whatever I want to not do or add to or take away. So I think that that's kind of just getting things out quick is a good practice for, at least for me.
Yeah. Yeah. The comedian and writer Ricky Gervais said that the goal or the challenge is always getting the idea from your head to the screen or to the song or whatever as quick as possible, because it loses fidelity.
It
the
does.
longer
It
takes.
does. And it's crazy because you don't realize how much it loses the more that you linger with it.
Yeah.
Because it's like a special thing. It's like if you're holding on to something like a very, very big idea, and like you're actually holding on to it, and like the more that you hold on to it, the heavier it gets day by day by day, and some falls, some slips, it slips through your fingers or whatever. It's like by day 25, what you think you're holding on to, that was this big idea, a lot of it may have slipped through and you may not have even realized it.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to make something perfect, rather than if you get an idea and you hold on to it and you do it right then and there, sometimes that can make another idea or spark another idea that's even bigger or in that same kind of world.
Yeah. We're in the middle of a lobby, so
That sounds like it got a switch on it.
yeah. it's like an old time clock or something.
Yeah, it got that button on it.
Yeah. Have you found, I mean, I find, you know, as an artist myself, working on songs, there is a magic when you first like craft something, right? Even if in its raw state, like it's almost like like you pull it from the ether. I hear a lot, like people, and I'd be curious to get your perspective. People often say like, I didn't write the song, like I just channeled the energy that was in the room, right?
Yeah.
And each studio has its own frequency that if you pay attention, you can like pull songs from it.
Yeah, I think that that's what anything, I think the way that I view it is like, I'm just a conduit of whatever is, like you said, in the ether. Like ideas are few and far in between, and like all of your thoughts that you have throughout your day aren't all your thoughts, right?
Yeah.
They're just passing through, and you pick up on the ones that you're like, you can resonate with, right? Like if someone's like, hey, if you get a thought like run down the street naked, you're not gonna just act on that thought. 9 times out of 10, it may not have been your thought. So I think that kind of dives into how creativity works too. Because sometimes like you make a song and you don't know how you made a song, or you write something and it's just based on that emotion, or like you are just caught up in that vibe and frequency. So I think that's how a lot of artists are. That's how I am as well, just kind of being in that flow state. But a lot of it is also not forcing anything, because again, like you said, people feel like they're not the ones writing it. And if you feel like you are the one writing it and you're forcing yourself to write, 9 times out of 10, it's going to not feel as flowy or
authentic,
organic, Exactly. And I think that sometimes it's a little bit harder to connect when you're trying to force yourself to write something and force it upon like an audience, I guess, rather than being open to ideas. And a lot of it too comes with, if I'm working with someone and it's a collaborative effort, nothing's really set in stone. My ideas aren't set in stone. Their ideas aren't set in stone. I think that there has to be some type of camaraderie and balance within that too.
Yeah.
Just because we're both bringing value and we both want to be appreciated and benefit from whatever said art we're working on.
So many questions. I want to go back to the first one. Who are you?
I'm Vic Daggs II.
Vic Daggs II.
Yes, sir. Professional recording artist, clothing brand owner, and part-time philosopher.
Part-time philosopher?
Sometimes.
Who are your favorite philosophers?
Dylon. I'm glad you know the reference.
Of course I know the reference.
I wouldn't say I have a favorite philosopher. I would say that I resonate with a lot of ways that philosophers have thought or think, or how they came about thinking a certain way in their certain times. Like a philosopher in a certain time is a person that thought different from everyone else, or a lot of different people, and people open their minds to the concept of, oh, this person's thinking this way, I've never thought of that way, maybe I should think of that way. I think that that's just kind of where I kind of lie, as far as I view myself a critical thinker, philosopher sometimes when I have ideas or I'm high and I want to share them. But yeah, a Vic Daggs II.
I think just to extend on that, like philosophers are almost people that are not like, and sometimes it's they think differently than other people, right? I think a lot of the times they're not afraid to say the thing that they're thinking, right? Because it may be outlandish, right? Like simulation theory or, the way that we operate as humans. And artists are very similar in that way, right? They're not afraid to share what they're thinking. Artists just do it differently in that they craft it into some sort of like creative lyric or melody or whatever. So philosopher, artist, they're very similar in some ways.
Yeah, I agree. I would say that they are very similar. I think, especially because the way that artists approach things, I think it's kind of somewhat in tandem with like a philosopher, or you're kind of shaping something. You're building something from just thought itself. So
okay, let me pull out my. Oh, actually, I have a question. One of my questions was around you as an entrepreneur. You have like this very like fail fast, learn quickly mentality, which is prevalent in like startups and what have you. Do you find like, do you try to find collaborators that match that synergy, or do you have to change how you operate depending on who you collaborate with?
I think yes and no.
Okay.
Because I'm not willing to compromise going slow for certain things. For some things, yes, but it depends on what the thing is. For some things, if something's explained to me and it's like you said, a collaborative effort, and we're both inputting and brainstorming, and it makes more sense to have a more elongated timeline, whether it's making clothes or making a song or making a project or like there's just certain markers we have to hit in between as far as like executing, then yeah, but also no. It's all very feel based, but it's also I try to make sure everything is in a particular window with both parties or whoever I'm working with. So it doesn't have to be like me telling the person who works a different way or different style, like, hey, you're moving too slow. And one, I don't just think that that's a very good way to conduct yourself in a space where you know that art is just everyone creates and moves differently. And I think that that also gives me the mindset of like, if I know I'm working with someone who may take longer, I may think of more things I can do while they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, and I can still add value in between.
Gotcha.
While that time is still being allotted to working, progressing, or moving something forward. But I wouldn't say like I'm a hard ass where it's like, hey, this needs to be done April 15th, and it needs to be done April 15th. Actually, April 14th.
Yeah.
Let's do it 13th, actually. Like, some people work that way. I just don't. Because I think adding pressure to someone who works well takes away from their said work, because all of this should be fun.
Yeah. All of it should be fun.
You know?
Music, life. You watched my video. That's cool.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't know if that's actually what you were referencing, but I just talked about that recently. So, trying to figure out where I want to go next. Well, I'll start there. So you did the residency, you got the stipend, you bought a bunch of gear. What year did you do the residency?
2016, I believe.
Okay.
2016, I believe.
Okay, so then the music that you have on, well, I use Apple Music, but I imagine Spotify came out like 2020?
So that was when I first dropped music, 2020, 2021-ish.
Yeah, January 2020. You're trying to do the weekly thing.
Yeah, I had just songs lined up.
Yeah.
Like just songs lined up, throwing stuff at a wall, failing fast, figuring it out early.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I did that for maybe 2, 3, 4 weeks or something like that. I remember though that like it was yesterday. But yeah. I dropped my first I had to figure out what distribution and all those things were, and DistroKid and all of those cool things and aspects. And then yeah, I figured out how to upload music and get cover art, and like started dropping music, releasing music.
And it was you doing everything, like producing, mixing, mastering. And this mic just like doesn't like you. It's like falling the other way now.
I wouldn't say. I engineered, yes. I engineered back then. I engineered, produced a little bit. I did do some of the cover art that was involved. It's hard to remember.
Yeah.
Because I do a lot. Like I just like being creative.
Yeah.
But I believe some of those early songs, Elon Wright engineered and mixed. I remember going to the old Ruby Room. Where else? I think some of those early ones were strictly engineered by Elon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You in a previous interview, I think it was on Converge, like you talk about you've done every role that now maybe other people do. Even mixing and mastering and producing. Like, how has your experience in those roles changed as you've gone to collaborate with like the Budos or the Elon Wrights or the Rolandos when it comes to film? Like having that perspective, how does it shape your collaborations?
I think we just work really fast. I mean, outside of like working with Rolando in film, because that's just a different treatment and different steps. But like when I work with Budo, it's very, very fast. Like I know what I want, he knows what he wants, but we also are very vocal about what we don't want. So it makes it very, very flush. And we work together enough to where I know what I want to sound like, but this happens like when I was engineering, like leading up to me being where I'm at now. I always knew what I wanted to sound like, and if I didn't sound like how I sounded in my head, then I didn't want to work with that person. So when I figured out that aspect and I knew how to do that for myself, I knew that I can translate like the language to anybody I work with. And it just makes it faster just because you know what you're talking about. As far as like when I'm in a studio with like my engineer now, Jordan, I can like, you know, he has a template for my voice and I can be like, I need a little bit more air here, or let's switch up this frequency, or add a dub here, or let's do a delay here, or like just like language. So it's easier to pinpoint what we want as far as execution. But also it gives me knowledge, because I'm a learner. I like to grow and learn.
Yeah.
Because like those things interest me as well, production, engineering, film. So like me being able to do those things and then find someone who does those things better makes me grow. So I'd look at it that way too.
Yeah, and there's this framework where you have generalists and you have specialists, right? And generalists are the people that just love learning about everything, right? And I'm a generalist for sure. I found that in like my professional career and in my artist career, sometimes it can slow me down because I am trying to learn everything, right? Or I'm trying to do everything. Have you found that to be the same? Of like it slows you down and maybe trying to achieve like a rapper or music side of things because you're working on the video as well, or
Not in not in today's time. I think ultimately, for me specifically, it makes things faster, only because in order to go fast, you have to slow down to understand how to go fast. So like me learning how to engineer, learning how to film a video, and taking that time to be intentional and be slow, learning how to use DaVinci and color grade and edit these things. Learning how to do all of those slow ass things that take actual hours to learn makes it very, very fast for me now. Now I have a system where like I can go and spend 6 hours and I got enough videos for the month. Is that slower or is that faster? I would say it's a lot faster and efficient because I don't have to go out every day and go do this. It's like I figured out how to batch content in videos and music videos and edit and get it to my liking, where it's like I'm also in tandem with Rolando and having him help and having his insight on certain things and certain processes being built for me so that things can be faster. But I think it would be a lot slower if I'm outsourcing all of these things and waiting on someone. It would be like way slower. It wouldn't be as fast. It would be less learning. It would be more waiting for someone to do something that if I put my mind to it, I could achieve or like do and be consistent at. And I think that it also gives me a better idea when I want to do bigger things.
Like the Coliseum.
Exactly, like the Coliseum.
Where'd that come from?
From that interview.
From that interview?
Yeah.
You're like, I need to do a Coliseum.
No, literally, because I think it would be cool to do a Coliseum.
Yeah. Oh, for sure it would be.
It would be insane. It would be absolutely insane. But I think just working that way, you're adding more tools to your tool belt. So like, even if I go into different situations or rooms and I'm not the said rapper, but I know how to do something that's knowledgeable that I think add value, it's like that could make someone else move faster.
Yeah.
So I think I don't think it slows anything down because you're really learning something. And once you learn something, it's like if you never knew how to ride a bike, would you go fast?
On a bike or by feet?
On a bike. Exactly.
Uh-huh.
But if you took all the time to fall down and scrape your knee, all those things going slow, you would eventually go faster because you took the time to learn. But that's not going to happen if you never take the time to.
They have Lime bikes now.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, I get what you're saying. Yeah, no, I totally get what you're saying. And I mean, that harkens back to that Converge interview where, which I have had conversations in depth with people about this phrase of like, get used to getting used, but you don't want to be useless,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's not like exactly what you're talking about, but it pulls on that thread of I want to make sure that whatever room I'm in, I'm prepared and I'm useful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's the back end of it. But the main thing of it is I need to be able to use me and my mind and my hands.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm trying to use other people or other facets in some people, like you said, I like to work, I like to go. It's just easier for me to do it that way.
So at what point, because 2020 you were putting out these songs, at
Mm-hmm.
what point did you decide I want to work with someone else?
Well, it's always been the goal to establish a team and work with someone who has the same ambitions and passions. But I think over the years, people just kind of resonated towards me. Putting myself out there, of course, having network within the residency and just finding my way within that and having certain mentors. But I think when it really got to a point where like I had my engineer and started really working with Budo and Rolando and just kind of felt like more structure and foundation was being built was probably maybe like 2022, 2023 maybe.
Okay.
But it wasn't like oh, I need to find this person, I need to find this person. It was just like me like working and like finding people and them kind of finding me at the same time, and that opening a door and like walking through that door. And then when I walk through that door, the person who sent me through that door knows this person who's in this door. So it's like everybody knows everybody. So it was like, it was kind of like that more so than like vetting someone, like interviewing someone like, hey, I want to work with you. This is what I'm doing. It was more so like friendship, camaraderie before actually like locking in like, hey, I want you to be my engineer. Like, hey, what do you think about a project? Hey, what do you think about? And that's what it came from. Like me and Budo have projects, but it didn't start as like, hey, we're gonna make a project. Like I would just rap my ass off. Like I would just go and record hella songs. And like he was like, yeah, I think we got a project. I was like, oh, we do? He's like, yeah. I was like, oh, bet. Like, and like that's what it was, because it was just that working fast pace. It was just bringing value, doing what we can do, and like, so now it's just like dope to see how much the relationship has grown, and just always being able to ask for help and having those guys in my corner. But I think, just around 2022, 2023, when I guess people just kind of started gravitating and just kind of things started kind of moving a little bit.
You seem to be someone that really enjoys organic relationships, like relationships to develop organically. From the outside looking in, you also seem to be someone that has at least a core strategy when it comes to their artistic expression and like goals. Would you say that's accurate?
I would say it's pretty accurate.
And okay, so then my question is like, how do you find balance between the two, of like allowing for the organic nature of relationships to form, but also saying, I have this strategy that I want to make sure I execute on?
I think forming the organic relationships help with the forefront of executing the goals, because most people I'm friends with, they understand me from a different level than people who will see me in their waking life, or that I may be convening with, or like, rub shoulders with. They understand me from like a totally different perspective as an artist, like Vic Daggs II, who's just like a little crazy, a little unhinged, very intense, very, very, very much like about the art, about the craft. So I think when these relationships are formed and we have those moments where I'm in a studio and I have to be vulnerable and they get to see that other side of me, that's when I think a flip maybe switch, where it's like, oh, like, yeah, I like to form these organic, real relationships. But I mean business when it comes to the art, and I love this, and I think that this can help me and my family but also it's a spiritual thing for me too when I'm in those rooms and modes. So like I'm gonna be who most people have never seen before.
Yeah.
But my core group and core guys know, like, oh, like, no, this is Vic. This is who's like, nah, this is who he is. But I think that helps them see both sides of me. The person who can be happy and smiling, but then the person that can also be like, oh, bet I'm getting angry at myself because I can't get this verse down. And they see how much I'm like trying to get it right and trying to like, they understand that I'm trying to execute something, and the goal here is something bigger. So I think that it just strengthens it. It just strengthens it tenfold all around. And most of the time, people just kind of get to understand like my frequency in how I operate when it's those moments. You know, I text my engineer all the time, like, hey, let's do this song, let's work on this song, let's do this song, let's work on this song. Like, because I have a bunch of music, so I just kind of like got to choose what we work on before we drop what we want to mix. Because like we'll have sessions where it's just me recording 10 songs and then that's just it. It's just come back, record more songs, go record more songs, forget I recorded songs. And like that's the process. But I think that me being able to operate in that field, in that frequency and capacity, they understand like, yeah, Vic has goals. No one just comes and records all this music for no reason. And they also are able to see other endeavors that I do, which is like, I'm sharing my music videos. Hey, what do you think about this? I shot this, I color graded this.
So like the community or like feedback from trusted advisors is super important to you.
I think it's
or part of the process.
I think it's part of the process as a creative. It's not more so me getting approval. It's more so me sharing my art with a friend because it's something new I'm doing. And I know that all of my friends are in this creative space, so they may have pointers or input or something that I'm always open to hear. So I always got an open ear. And then I think also when they do give me this feedback, it instills a certain amount of just confidence to keep going, doing something new, and just adding more tools to the belt. I think that that's just a part of it. But then you think something's really, really good, and you send it and you don't know if it's good because you're the only one that's been watching it. I'm the only one that's been watching my shit, and it's like, I think it's good. I don't know. It's good. Let me send it out, and someone like approves or says, yeah, no, this is fire. You did this. You just like, okay, cool. Like, I think I'm in the right direction. I think I'm,
Yeah, I was looking for a question. That's what I was like scrolling. Oh, there it is. How serendipitous. But I do want to ask about like, we started this conversation with this notion of like, you kind of move quickly and you put things out and you learn fast in that manner. But then you just talked about the fact that you make a ton of music and you have songs in the vault with whoever it may be. What's the threshold at which you say, I'm releasing this song?
There's really no method to the madness.
Okay.
There's really no method to the madness. Like,
it's all vibes.
Yeah, it's all vibes, time of the year, like how I feel. If I keep playing a song back to back, if Jordan sends me the master back, if I'm just stuck on a song, or if I think that this song really can resonate, or if I shoot visuals and I'm like, yeah, I want to put these visuals out. Let's just put the song out too. There's really no method. Like at this stage, like I've created a system to where like I can just like have a song, shoot the video, and just do a lot of stuff within a day where it's like, right now I'm just throwing stuff out there and just being creative. I think that that's more important than figuring out what song. I think if I'm filming and teasing a bunch or a few and seeing what resonates, looking at analytics, seeing what people like, seeing comments, seeing if someone shares, I think that that's kind of more so the lane and direction I'm going to be veering into, just because I want to be able to just have different things out there. But yeah, there's really no method. There's no method, especially because I have a lot of music and I have albums that are just on ice. Like a lot of it is just throwing stuff at a wall, still trying to figure things out. But of course, there is strategy. Of course, there is strategy as far as marketing and back end and things like that. But picking a song, I realized a long time ago that the frequency that I make music and like all the ideas that I have in my head, um, this goes for probably a lot of artists. If you I don't know, let me figure out how to word this.
Yeah.
The amount of songs that I'm able to create, the amount of ideas that I'm able to create, the amount of things that I'm able to do, it's always more input than output. Because you can make 10 songs in the studio. You're not going to put out those 10 songs in the next 10 days.
Yeah.
Now imagine you do 10 songs a day for 365 days. How many songs is that?
3,650.
Exactly. Now, how many artists have that many songs in the span of their careers?
Not a lot.
Exactly. So when you put it into that perspective, it's like you're going to always have something that never goes out. So like,
are you doing 10 songs a day?
Oh yeah, possibly. Yeah, for sure. Like if I have a studio that I can just live at, yeah, probably more. But like that's the catch. It's like making all these songs. Are all these songs ever going to see the light of day? Are all these songs ever going to, benefit? And then it's also like making all these songs, putting all these energies in all these songs, dropping all these songs. It becomes crazy. Like it's actually kind of crazy rather than focusing on one, putting that out, and having a vault, Because creating, I think creativity for me has been a very, very great thing, and I'm able to create. But when I realize, like, damn, bro, you create all this stuff, like, your mind is working very, very fast, opposed to putting out things and then wanting to move on. I think that it's unfair for me to not give things their time, even though like the person I am is like, oh, bet, yeah, I know I dropped that song yesterday. Let's do another one. Let's do another one. Let's do another one. I think it's unfair to a part of myself and then like the art itself, even though that's what I would want to do, just flood and just, but a part of it is like taking a beat doesn't really hurt.
Yeah.
As far as something being received well.
Someone that writes all those songs, I feel like you've said a lot, right? And you're relatively young. Is there anything that you feel like you haven't said or dove into enough in terms of your art?
Of course, but I've dove into it. You guys just haven't had it yet.
You're just waiting to release it.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of things that I've dived into. But you got to realize when you dive into things, diving is a deep thing in a world that seems to be operating very shallow. So you got to find right moments, or you just got to put it out and hope that something can change a perspective in a world where the writing is kind of on the wall. And I think that it's a part of an artist's journey to touch on the deep topics, the things that, like you said, no one wants to say. Like a philosopher, no one would dare say that. It's like, why? I think that there are certain aspects of art that is the sole reason why it's called art. Standing up for something more than yourself. It's always been a very, very continuous thing throughout history, throughout hip hop, throughout art, and throughout culture. And there are plenty of things that Vic Daggs II wants to say and will say. But I think that the important part about it is I know and I'm self-aware and observant enough that the things that I want to say and will say, my platform has to be big enough so that it reaches the most people, so that the most change can happen.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, of course, man. Of course.
Yeah, I mean, you know, in one of your interviews, a couple of them, you mentioned how Illmatic's your favorite album.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. It's a great album,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, it is.
Would you say, I have another question. Would you say Nas is your favorite rapper or writer?
I would say myself.
You heard him.
I would say myself. But no, of course, Nas gets busy, man. He's still killing it. I just seen him. I swear he just dropped another album. He's like
nonstop.
Like Nas works, bro. Like he works.
Yeah.
Like, and that's why I love Nas.
Yeah.
Because he was working and has not stopped. And he's always been filthy. And he's always very, very good at articulating himself. He ventures off and does the business things. The way he carries himself, I think, is very dope. But I think it's just one of those things. Like when he started dropping those albums with Hit Boy, and it was just like album 2, album 3, it made me realize that he loves rap and hip hop more than his peers that came up with him. And he's still able to do the other ventures and whatever, but he just loves this shit. Yeah. And that's why I fuck with Nas and just the trajectory of his career and just all of it in tandem. I just think it's filthy because that nigga he works. Like he works. And I think like he's just like about the work. Yeah. And I think that's what it needs to be about. And I think even me, like, listening to those albums back in the day, I didn't think he was gonna be this age still spazzing and barred and just rapping and doing his things. Like, that's impressive to me.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know, it's very impressive to just have so much to say and still say it in a cool way. It's like, yeah.
Every time you talk, I have like 5 questions I want to get into, but the original intention of that question was that, you know, when you talk about Nas versus Jay-Z, right? Not to go into the details about like the beef, but a common a core observation is that Nas loves to go in depth about social issues and like challenges in life, but the way he delivers it is in such a way where only a particular type of person is going to want to listen to that, right? Whereas Jay-Z packaged roughly the same thing plus some other stuff in a more digestible way, right? I mean, he says, I used to want to rap like Common Sense. I made 5 mil, didn't want to rap like Common Sense, right? Like this notion that you can, not everyone wants to hear the philosophical social issues rap all the time. Yeah. But if you sprinkle it in, right, in a very digestible way with music that like hits in the club or hits in the car or whatever, like you can get more done. And I feel like what you were saying earlier is that's somewhat similar to your approach of like, because at first listen, I was like, yeah, he makes dope like party music. Not party music, but just like music that is a bop and like you can like listen to and blah, blah, blah. And it wasn't until I dove into your lyrics that it was like, oh, there's actual commentary on social challenges, injustices, his life, struggles, but you're doing it in a digestible way.
You wanna know why?
Yeah, that's my ultimate question.
Yeah, like, you know, and this is strictly because when I was younger, when I first made music, I realized, you know, I never knew how smart I was until people like told me you're smart. And I always like viewed myself a very intellectual person, a smart person.
Of course.
You know, but like you never.
You walked in talking about quantum physics. Like, come on. I was like, damn, dude, it's 10 a.m.
Yeah. But like, you never really know until like someone kind of like breaks it down to you, or like, you can just talk about different topics.
Yeah.
But when I first started making music, I would talk about so many different things, and people would always be like, man, you're so ahead of your time. You're ahead of your years. You're ahead of your whatever. And just giving people, like, you're 18 years old, 19 years old, giving people like so much information that they like can't digest, that it just goes over their head, right? So I would play music for my dad and my goddad and just my older generation of mentors. And they would get it. They would understand because they knew me, like, I'm their kin, and they've watched me grow over the years. But they would be very, very adamant, very, very adamant, telling me that I have to spoon feed them. And them being everyone.
Yeah.
Having
the royal.
It's like having to spoon feed them. I'm like, what are you like? They're like, they can't eat all that. They can't eat all that food. They can't eat all that food for thought. Because that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's like spoon feeding them is giving them bit by bit by bit. Because if you give them so much that it's hard to digest, they're never going to digest it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think I've got better over the years at being able to, like you said, it's like a up-tempo bop, but then you listen and it's like there's layers to it. I think that just comes with me being able to understand like myself, and also trying to say things in the least amount of words. Like how you said, like I mess with Nas, but the lyric you just said by Jay-Z makes perfect sense, and it's simple, and you understand it.
Yeah.
And anyone would understand it. And I think being able to understand that part of it, of the music, helps it resonate more, because you realize you don't gotta be, like you said, a certain listener listens to this time. You don't gotta be here in veer. You can say the simple thing and know that a plethora of people will get it.
Yeah. I mean, Lupe Fiasco talks about that, and he made a song about it, Dumb It Down, right? Like his first album, Food and Liquor, is one of my favorite albums, but it's not everyone's, because there's so much in there that he's talking about that not everyone will be able to listen to that and appreciate what it is.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is you don't want to preach, but sometimes people are very like passionate about things that they're doing or saying, like social justice things. Like sometimes that's the only way you can come across, or if you got something really on your spirit and heart, sometimes things must be said. If you just like, I can't go to sleep. I just have to get this off. But a lot of the times, to not be as preachy or long-winded, because I think with the art and with the people and the dynamics of the world, everyone's attention span is slower.
Yeah.
So like no one's going to take the time. They will, some will, don't get me wrong, but everyone's attention span is slower. It's slower and it's less, so that's why we have less albums and full bodies of work, and it's just a kind of different. It's a different era of music, and I think that in today's time, everyone can make it. So that also adds a different variable to just the whole overall industry of it. But again, it's one of those things where if you're an artist, you can just do what you want to do. And I figured out a way where I'm not as preachy and this and it got kind of a little swag, but over the time it's just become myself and my own flow and how I rap and make music. So that's just kind of what it's become from back then to now, having to taper back or tone down some of the things that I could say or want to say, to say it in a simpler way.
Yeah. Rapid fire question.
Let's do it.
Because we're going to wrap this up. Get you out of here. Where'd you get your flow from?
Jesus? No, I'm just playing. No, I'm not playing. No, I'm not playing. Like, it really is probably from God himself.
Really?
Yeah. I don't really, a lot of the times when I'm coming up with a flow, they're not words. They're just like.
You do like a mumble track or something?
It's like I know what I'm gonna say, but the sounds in my mind works way faster than I could come up with words. So like I'll say what I'm gonna say, and then I'll just write it, and it'll be right in the pocket. But it just depends on the approach or the song. A lot of the times I listen to the different arrangements of what instruments are within a beat, and you can find different flows.
Yeah.
If you listen to a hi-hat, you could have a different flow versus if you listen to the snare or the drums and the thing about it is most people don't pull back their music to like understand pockets and like it's all numbers. It's all like 1, 2, 3, 4s or triplets or it's like you gotta know. I don't know.
Nah, I mean, I've had that conversation a lot because I just showed someone my album and they're like, yeah, you have a very unconventional way of rapping. But it's because I don't just rap on the 2 and the 4, right? Like most people just rap on the 2 and the 4. And it's like, there's all these other
many
places within the beat that you could rap on.
Yes.
Like any other instrument is not constrained to the 2 and the 4.
Exactly.
Like,
they're not at all. And that's what makes music like such a beautiful thing because like there's no rules, but people try to make rules to confine freelance.
Yeah.
It's like
no.
Yeah.
No. That kind of leads into one of my questions is like, let's see if you talk about God a lot, like you're a man of God, it seems. Although you're here on Easter Sunday, so I'll let you handle that with him.
Yeah.
There's a church right there. You can just like hop over.
Second service. Yeah.
There you go.
Don't even worry about it.
It seems like there's a very clear relationship and parallel between your faith and your craft. And that, like, as I dug into it a little bit more, I wrote down these 4 things of like, you show up even when no one's watching. You're showing up to the studio all the time, making songs that maybe no one will ever hear, right? There's like a devotion to that. You're sort of trusting the process even if like you fully can't see the outcome yet, right? You talked about that a lot of like, I just show up. I'm trusting that what I'm doing right here is going to get me to here. It's going to get me to there. It's going to get me to this Coliseum. Therefore, there's a delay in gratification, and you're kind of converting doubt into action.
Yeah, because it's never really doubt. I never really doubt. Because like you said, having that in tandem of the art and the music, to worship God is to sing and praise, and making music is like one of those things that's therapeutic for me. And I also realize that I am a conduit for saying things that sometimes other people may not be able to say, want to say, know how to say, and I'm getting that message, and sometimes I have to act upon it in different terms or matters. But yeah, I think it's important. It's important to know what you're doing and why you're doing it, who you're doing it for. And to make it one thing clear, I don't have any worries because I do these things and make music not for my own glorification, but for God, Christ. And I think sometimes my art and things may be, I wouldn't say unconventional, but I can be a little, I'm myself, I'm myself. And yes, I may talk about God, but I might say something different in a word or in a lyric in a song. But I think the basis of it is I'm a conduit and I'm sharing what is being passed through me at the time that it is being passed. Yeah.
Hmm. That makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
Your references and almost conversation with God seem to take a different shape between Eye of the Storm and Void.
Mm-hmm.
Was there something personally in your life, internally, that you were working through or had worked through that may have shaped how you layer that into your music?
Yes, I think when I came out with Eye of the Storm, that project was made in, I think, a day and a half or 2 days with Elon.
Wow.
So it was just a very, very fast-paced environment. Um, being knowing I had to be vulnerable in those moments to get whatever art we were going to get within that window, so we can create. Um, so I think that approach is a little bit different than Void. Um, but I also do think that the songs and how old I was, my mindset, where I was in life, prompted me to make certain songs in the arrangement and sparked initial inspiration. With Void, it was still made songs very, very fast, but it was over a longer period of time with Budo. Um, and we spent a little bit more time being intentional as far as just sequencing. Um, Budo is very, very good at just sound design, adding, bells and whistles and just ear candies here and there. Seeing if we wanted to refine anything. I didn't rewrite anything, but I think that it was just a different experience, and I was also at a different stage in my life in relationship with God. Um, Thankful that it just continues to grow project per project, and it never goes backwards. It's always a forward thing. I don't think I'll ever release a project if I feel like my relationship with God is not where I would want it to be, because I think He's a moving factor within the work and the body of work. Um, but yeah, it was just a different creative experience.
Yeah. Would you say then, just based off all of that, that within Void, your relationship was more grounded? Like it felt more secure versus Eye of the Storm, it was still like, not doubting, but like you were forming it?
Um, I think I think more so I've always had a very, very good relationship with God. Um, and I don't think it was more so a doubt. I think it was more so that was maybe just the approach I took to writing the music, maybe. Because there's never really been any instance in my life where like I just doubt God. I grew up in the church, like singing in the choir and stuff like that. So that's never really ever really crossed my spirit. I think more so is the approach and what am I writing about? Also with the production and what does the beat invoke as far as the emotions and how do I want to write? I think that there's just more variables, and it's harder to be precise when you have a shorter time frame. So it's more going and recording, and I'm feeling the energy, Elon's feeling the energy. He likes this, I like that. Boom, we're in a good space, so it feels good to the both of us and both parties within that short 2-day window. And it's like, oh, let's just put it out. It's like, okay, bet. Like that was just kind of what we decided to do. Versus with Void, it was me. Like a lot of those songs were me just meeting Budo. Like it was upon like the start of our friendship and relationship. And then just over time, we just had more sessions and I recorded more music, and then it kind of formed. But I had that relationship with Elon before. That's why we were able to even just knock that shit out, because it was just already kind of established.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay. Interesting. I have two questions I definitely want to get to, just being mindful of your time. Well, one, I think a lot of people are thinking about, because it does feel like very contradictory. I'm trying to pull up the exact lyric. Maybe you can help me finish it. Oh, okay. No, here it is. I kind of feel like you need to explain this a little bit.
What's the lyric?
At least for me, I'm like, Vic, pick a side.
What's the lyric?
I don't play games, let alone play a victim. But then you go on to say, I play the game till I'm winning. So what is it? Do you play games or do you not play games?
What did I say?
Nah, I thought that was funny. That is one of my favorite lines you said. I don't play games, let alone play a victim.
I don't play games, let alone play the victim. Pretty much what I'm saying is this has to do with a relationship aspect. I'm pretty sure that's the perspective I wrote it in. So if someone's playing games with you or you're playing games with them as far as on a feeling level, something I just don't do. I think that's an immature thing to do. But to play the game till I'm winning is the game of life. Yeah. Everyone should play. You should participate. Yeah. But does that answer your question?
Yeah, I was just being.
I know.
I was like, I'm bringing that up.
That is a great lyric pool.
I mean, I have a lot of questions.
No, you're good. We got to what 12? Good.
Oh, okay. I think one thing I am curious about, but just getting to know you a little bit over the past hour, maybe I already know the answer to. I feel like, you have a unique come up within the Seattle scene, right? Because of your relationships and the experiences you had. In some ways, that is a huge blessing, right? That opens up a lot of opportunities. But in other ways, that could be like huge pressure, right? To like execute on a vision or on opportunities that were granted to you because of how much work you put in. Would you say that's the case? And if so, like, how do you manage, or how did you deal with that and continue to push forward and like make a name for yourself?
I don't really look at things as pressure. Like, I've operated and done this for a while, so like all outside noise, I don't really listen to no one. But this is how it's always been since the very beginning. I've always been this person, and really? I've never really I don't buy into those things. I don't think that it's pressure, or I don't look at it as pressure, or look at things with that type of mentality when it comes to doing a show or whatever it is. I just look at it as this is the life I chose way back when I wanted to make music, and I'm blessed to be in certain positions and have doors open up along the way and have my network of people. But as far as pressure, I don't think nothing is pressure. I look at everything as I'm truly blessed with my unique come up, which is very unorthodox and different from a lot of other artists. And I think that me understanding that, it just makes my story mine for the future and for the time coming. But I don't look at anything as pressure, because I'm very confident in what I do. I'm very confident in how I do. I'm very confident in who I do it with. So that's just kind of the way I kind of view it.
Yeah, I saw you for the first time at Barboza Capitol Block Party, I think, 2024. And yeah, as soon as you come on stage, like, you exude this confidence that a lot of people don't have. And like, you're able to, because of that, you actually said something in an interview where you talk about the reason why you're able to go on a stage and like operate the way you do at this certain level is because you're very confident in who you are, right? And so as you go show up in front of people, like, there aren't any nerves, right? So it sounds like you've always kind of been like that way. How have your parents been able to like help you foster that and cultivate that confidence?
Honestly, My mom and dad are the greatest.
Shout out.
Shout out them. I would say I have plenty of conversations with my dad about my frustrations, of course.
Yeah.
With my mom, it's not as many. My mom just, she sees me and, hey, superstar. That's her favorite thing to say, you know. But I think them helping foster it is just them being my parents. I don't think that I've needed their help with fostering my confidence with that specific thing. I think that they've instilled confidence in me and all my brothers just throughout life, and just being our parents and us being their children and teaching us how to be confident in who we are. And I think that is just something I carry with myself. But as far as like me getting on stages and things like that, a lot of it is just, I love what I'm doing. And I've prepared myself overly to execute something blindfolded, literally. So like, it's a certain level of confidence, but it's also like, it's a certain level of readiness. Like for me, it's just readiness.
Yeah.
It's not really confident. I'm not out there trying to be boastful.
Yeah.
I'm out there trying to be sharp. And I think that sharpness to other people is like, damn, he's sharp. And when you say someone's sharp, it's like, man, he looks good. And when you say somebody looks good, it's like, damn, he's confident. It's like, it can kind of carry over to all of those things. So I think that's what I look at it. And I think more so after I do something, and then my parents being proud or saying, you did a good job, or having my band up there, shout out my guy, DJ, just all of those people, all of those aspects, having them there on stage smiling and happy and just giving those head nods with your eyes, like, we're killing them right now. It's like that right there is it.
When you talk about readiness, I think that's a challenge a lot of people have, is like they just don't put in the time and the effort to prepare to the same degree as other people and that are getting the opportunities and being able to achieve the goals, right? Not saying you have to kill yourself to do it, right? And embody the hustle culture, but there is a certain amount of hustling that you need to do, like sacrifices that you need to make, because there's 8 billion people in this world, and a lot of them want to do music, right? And not everyone can. Well, everyone can, but not everyone can to the degree that we all want to, unfortunately. But I remember you talking about, was it with Budo, where he asked you to like write to something and you sent 4 versions of it?
Oh no, yeah, that was for God's Will on Ben's album.
I thought
that's a funny
that
story.
Was so
I
fucking clever.
I wasn't taking no.
You're like,
there's no way.
1 is risky. You might say no to 1, but if I sent 4, you're bound to like, I'm like, I got to use that.
No, facts.
From now on.
No, I was just giving myself the opportunity to win, bro.
That's so smart.
I play the game till I'm winning.
Play the game till you're winning. That's
if I would have sent the one, and he would have told me, this isn't the one, and 1 recorded to something else, it probably would have just hurt the momentum and the time span that he wanted something done. And 2, it was like, I recorded at my crib. Like I was literally working at Bogey Boy's, his store, went home, recorded 3-4 versions, sent them that night.
I love that.
And the ball was rolling.
Was it called God's Will when?
Yep. Literally the will of God, bro. I know. Yeah.
I mean, I asked you about angel numbers when I was changing the thing, but like, I'm like, I love when the universe or God or whatever you may believe in has that sense of humor.
Yeah. It was like,
yeah. Oh, it's also gonna be called God's Will, or that's super dope.
Yeah, it was an amazing opportunity, and it was funny because I don't know what made me come up with that idea. I was just like, man, this is it. Like you don't send 1, bro. Just like record as many as you can that you think sound good, and engineer it to the best of your ability, just so he can get a good take on a demo version, because we know Jordan's gonna engineer it, and just like
So good.
And and it worked out.
Were either of your parents entrepreneurs or like uncles or?
My dad works for the city.
Okay.
So he's never really been entrepreneur as far as that aspect, but he's done a lot of different entrepreneur things. He's mentored a lot of people I grew up with, coached, so different things like that. My mom, if cooking's an entrepreneur, she's the best at that.
Yeah,
very, very good. I know she's had talks of wanting to have a food truck and things like that in the future. So,
what kind of food?
Soul food. Cool. Soul food. But yeah, I mean, I can't say that we have too many entrepreneurs in my family as far as the generation. For us, I think in my family, like my generation is more so entrepreneurs. Yeah. A lot of my cousins, brothers, we just like to get to it and get our hands dirty, hustle.
Yeah. Dope. Okay, I'm gonna ask you 2 more questions. You have an EP and then 2 full-length albums. Mm-hmm. And the 2 full-length albums are Eye of the Storm and Void. Mm-hmm. 2 concepts which generally are like the center of something that is either you have a storm circling around you and you're in the center of it, or in the sense of a void, like there's a lot circling. I guess it's the same. There's a lot circling around you, and then there's like nothingness within the center of it. Mm-hmm. Was it intentional for you to have 2 titles that at its core talk about something very similar?
Probably. I mean, now that you said it, my spirit led me to do that because I didn't really put those 2 together until now.
Yeah.
But I think the Eye of the Storm, it was very, very, like you said, the center of the storm. It's quiet.
Yeah.
It's very, very quiet. And Void is,
also quiet. There's no sound or
exactly. Also quiet, no pressure. Very, very kind of abysmal, like an abyss type of vibe. So I probably was intentional without even me knowing it. When you just do something that you don't really know you want to do, but you realize that you did it. I guess that's kind of the direction.
It's almost like you're trying to like manifest solitude in some way.
It's funny because I think that's a good perspective for sure. But I also think for me, Void was more so me feeling that way. And I think Eye of the Storm was more so I felt that there was a lot going on around me.
Yeah.
And if I'm the Eye of the Storm, like I'm trying to not be involved or get distracted by the actual storm. So I got to be in the center of it where it's quiet. I think that that's more so a better take on what I was trying to accomplish. And Void was more so, I wanted it to be like the cover. I wanted it to look like Vic was just in nothingness. And you take from that what you will.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
No, I'm just kidding. All right. I love giving people flowers. Who do you feel like you want to give flowers to?
Anybody in the world?
Anyone in the world.
I would give flowers to Jesus. It's Easter.
Okay.
I'll give flowers to my grandmother and my mom. I would give flowers to everybody in Seattle, Washington, and the surrounding areas working very, very hard at their art. I think it's just important to give everyone flowers, because if you give someone flowers and they don't put it in a vase, it dies anyway. So if I give you some flowers, put it in some water, and let it grow, But I think everyone deserves some flowers. I think everyone deserves some flowers. You, for sure, because I appreciate you and the opportunity to come here and talk and, you setting up and us putting this together and having a pretty good timeline to executing that. And just, I appreciate that. Man, everybody that's just working hard in Seattle. Just everybody that's just working hard.
Yeah.
All the artists, hip hop, rap, R&B, indie pop, just everybody. I know a lot of people, and I know too many names to just name them all during an interview. So everybody that's an artist, everybody that's a clothing brand owner as well. Flowers to the Seattle Sonics. They need to come back home soon. I'm hoping that that's the case for sure.
Fingers crossed.
But yeah, I mean, there's too many flowers to give out.
Yeah.
And my brain hurts.
Yeah. Well, luckily it's tulip season. There's fields of them.
I know. I've been seeing some people post on their stories all the flower trees in UW, like UW campus.
Oh yeah. Have you ever seen those?
I've seen them, but I want to go shoot some visuals. You know me. I need to go shoot some visuals.
You could get the same effect at Green Lake. There's a ton of cherry blossoms.
Cherry blossoms. Yeah, they got it looking fly up there. Really fly.
It's dope.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, Vic, thanks for being here.
Man, thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Can't wait for the new music.
Man, it's coming. It's on the way. Soon.